Welcome to the Modern Indian History Lecture Series. In this lecture, we are going to take chapter 4 from Bipin Chand. In this lecture, we are going to discuss Regulating Act of 1773 and it is the part 2 of chapter 4. Okay. So, in the part 1, we already had discussed the structure of the government. Okay. How the structure of the British government was going to change as there were kind of opponents. There were the people who raised the voice against the company as an opponent, like why that kind of monopoly is given to the British East India Company. Okay, and due to that jealousy or the voice that was raised under the British Parliament, they started to regulate the British East India Company, okay, through the parliament. Now, within the parliament and the British East India Company, they had a kind of what I say, kind of like management happened between them. Okay, like uh, will help you each other kind of thing. So, like they manage with themselves, and the monopoly kind of things was not broken by the British Parliament through this Regulating Act of 1773. We'll discuss in the coming session. Okay. So the what happened that in the part one that we have discussed, that Parliament said like, okay, you pay us four lakh pound per year by the British East India Company, and will make sure that you will have a monopoly to the trade with the India. Okay. So uh, that kind of deal happened between the Parliament and the British East India Company. But what happened, the kind of amount that was asked by the British East India Company to pay to the Parliament was huge. And there happened a situation where the British East India Company came in a position where they asked for the loan to pay that huge amount. So that kind of mismanagement was happening within the British East India Company. And one main reason behind this issue was the corruption. It was not like that British East India Company was not earning in India. They were earning at a huge price. All the suffering was happening to the peasants. But the kind of corruptions were present in the British East India Company, they were unable to pay that amount to the parliament, and ultimately the British East India Company was borrowing money from the market that they have a loan sanction on it. So due to that, the parliament first imposed the Regulating Act of 1773. And the reason behind it was called as the Regulating Act because it does not snatch the power of the British East India Company. It just altered the administration within the British East India Company. Thus, we call it as a regulating. Okay, regulating. Thus, this reason, thus it is known as the regulating. So, it was the first important Parliament Act regarding the company's affairs. Through this act, the company's officials will be under the supervision of the British government, but it was not effective. That's why we'll see that after Regulating Act, Pitt's India Act, and other more acts will come where the company's right will be snatched and company will have a certain restriction with the trade with the other international borders. Okay, so this regulating act was not effective and it did not give decisive control over the company. It had also failed to resolve the conflict between the company and its opponents. Like what opponents were demanding? Opponents were demanding to break the monopoly of the company. Okay. But the monopoly of the company was not broken. Why? Because there was a deal happened between the British East India Company and the Parliament that you give us four lakh pound and I will give you monopoly. So thus the opponents people did not opponents businessman or who were the presents did not were not satisfied with this regulating act because their demand was not heard, because they wanted to also do business with India, but the monopoly of the East India Company was retained. Okay. Moreover, the company remained extremely vulnerable to the attacks of its enemy as the administration of its Indian possession continued to be corrupt, oppressive, and economically disastrous. Okay, as the economically disastrous. So this was one of the reason, like the this regulating act, whatever that happened, this monopoly happened, the kind of corruption was happening. This regulating act was failed. Understand? Okay. Thus the British East India Company, what I say, imposed this this regulating act, and there was a certain advantage and disadvantage behind it. And the regulating act, like this regulating act, after that we'll see that Pitt's India Act will come. So this Pitt's India Act will discuss in the another lecture. Right now we are continuing with the advantage and the disadvantage, with the advantage and the disadvantage of the uh, regulating act. Okay. So so yeah. So the provisions of the regulating act, what are the provisions under the regulating act and what were the disadvantage under it? So we'll discuss it here. So the act permitted company to retain its territorial possession in India, but sought to regulate the activities and functioning of the company. It did not take the power completely, hence it is called as regulating. As I've discussed earlier, like this act did not snatch the power of the company. This act did not snatch the power of the company. Thus, it is called as a regulating. The term regulate means what? Regulating the norms and all. Okay, that concept. So that's why we call it as a regulating. Now, the act provided for the appointment of Governor General along with four councillors were present, the presidency of Fort William, that jointly called the Governor General in Council. Now, what is happening here? Now, what is happening here? So, here the Governor General will have four councillors. Okay, and the one major drawback with the Governor General was that he does not have a veto power. He does not have a veto power. Now, what does veto power means? Veto power means, like, let us suppose if there is like we have four counselors, and now they wanted to execute a certain kind of policy. Let us suppose policy A. Now, this Governor General does not have a veto power to stop this policy. Let us suppose from four, all four were agreed. All four were agreed to that policy. But Governor General did not like that policy. He did not want to implement that policy. But he does not have that power to stop that policy to be executed. So that was one of the major drawback within the regulating act, that the Governor General does not have a veto power under it. Okay. Yeah. So Governor General does not have a veto power under it. Now, the Act provided the appointment of the Governor General. The Act provided the appointment of the Governor General with Council. Okay. As per the Warren Hastings was appointed as the Governor General of the Presidency of the Fort William. Now, Calcutta became the center. Calcutta became the center, and your Madras and Bombay will work under the Calcutta presidency. Okay, so now it was like whatever the foreign policies or foreign uh, decisions was to be taken, it should be under the consultance with the Calcutta Council. Okay, so that was one another major changes that was done. So the governor in councils at Madras and Bombay were brought under the control of Bengal, especially in the matter of foreign policies. Now, they could not wage war against Indian state without the approval of British Council. Okay, so now they were not allowed to make any war or any foreign policies without any permission of British officials, British governors. Okay, now the company directors were elected for a 5 period. So these councillors and all these were elected for the 5 years period, and then every year the fourth one will be retired. Okay, so every year the fourth of them will retire, and also once they will retire, they won't be able to re-elected. Okay, so that was one of the major changes that was done by them. That if the four councillors present within the four councils, they have a period of 5 years, and every year one council will retire, and once they will retire, they won't be re-elected. The company directors were directed to make public all correspondence on revenue, civil, and military matters with the Indian authorities before the British authorities. A Supreme Court of jurisdiction was established at Calcutta, with Sir Elijah Impey was the first Chief Justice judges were to come from the England. They were come from England, and it had the civil and the criminal jurisdiction over the British subject and not Indian natives. Now, there was one another drawback with the Supreme Court, was that there was no clear demarcation of what kind of power they have. There was no kind of uniformity present there. The explanation what kind of role they are going to play was not explained in detail. Okay, so that was another drawback. So what were the defects of the Regulating Act of 1773? Most of them we already had discussed. Just we have jotting down the points. So what are the drawbacks with the Regulating Act of 1773? One, the Governor General does not had a veto power. They didn't have a veto power. It did not address the Regulating Act did not address the concern of the Indian population, and thus that was obvious because as we have seen in the part 1 that the British parliament was not worried about the Indian people. They were worried about their own interest, the kind of money they are going to get. Okay, they were not worried about the Indian population. They were only worried about the profit that they are going to earn, that they were going to earn. Okay, thus this address did not address the concern of the Indian population who were paying revenue to the company, and it did not stop corruption among the company officials. Thus, there had a situation where the British East India Company had to ask for the loan from the market and to pay that amount to the British Parliament. The Supreme Court's power were not well defined, as I have said here, and the Parliament control that was sought in the activities of the company proved to be ineffective, as there was no mechanism to study the report sent by the Governor General of the Council. So, okay, so it was like that far kilometer from India and from the Britain, they were monitoring the India, and the reports that was sent by them, there was no kind of validity for it. There was no kind of they were unable to check like whether that report that was sent by them is valid or not. Okay, there was no trustworthy kind of, so that was one of the major drawback. Like there was no sort kind of written document, like no provisions like how to validate those reports that will be sent by the Governor General from India to the British Parliament. Okay, so these were the defect from the Regulating Act of 1773. I hope you have liked this video. Please like and subscribe. This is a new channel, we really need your support. Further, if you have any doubt, if you want this document, please feel free to ping on my Twitter handle, or comment, or you can comment freely in this video below. Okay, thank you. Will